Meet the Cricket. We're going to go ahead and take this quadcopter out of the box. I'm going to show you how fun this one is. This one just came in a couple days ago, so I'm super excited. I love these little tiny ones, mainly because they're a little bit cheaper to get, and you can still get parts for them and extra batteries. So let's go ahead and take this one out of the box, and I'll show you what the Cricket's all about. But before we unbox it, let's go ahead and go and fly it, and then we'll come back into the studio and we'll talk about some specifics about the Cricket. So we're going to go ahead and do a little indoor flight test, because that one's pretty much what this one's for. You can fly it in the house and bump off things and keep going. So we'll go ahead and go to the start screen. It has a little sound effect there. I'm going to move those. You can also turn those sound effects off if you don't like the way that sounds, if it bothers you. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to do my auto takeoff over here on the right hand side. I'll just push that button and it will come up, and it should have a nice bit of altitude hold. So let's see how that works. Going up to the ceiling a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to get it at a maintained altitude and try to hold that altitude. Bring it down a little bit. You see how it's just kind of hovering there, which is kind of nice. So that's almost hands off. It's drifting a little bit. See if I can get the hang of it, keep it in one spot. I can play around with my yaw a little bit, fly it to the side. Let's take some trips around the room. But first, I'll go ahead and start recording video. So now I'm recording video. I'll try to display that on the screen here for you. I just cruise around my shop here. I'm blowing everything off the bench. A little bit of a mess today, but never too messy to fly inside. Well, it seems to control really well, actually, now that I'm getting the hang of this. It's about as fast as it goes for the yaw right there. Pretty easy to fly, actually. I'm going to take a trip around the light up there. Yeah. Very, very precise controls. I'm going to do an auto landing on the bench here. Just going to see how that works. That was pretty easy. Now I'll go ahead and do an auto takeoff here. Hit that button. And now I want to try a 360 flip. Probably not the best idea in the world, but we're going to try it anyway indoors. So I'm going to go to the on-screen controls, because that's where the 360 flip is. Oh, it hit the ceiling. Did we crash? Nope. Oh, yep, we crashed. So I just crashed into the wall under the bench over there, and there's one little bent prop here, as you can see, but you know what? I can just straighten that right back out. Just like that. Now it's straight again, no problem. The prop guards did their job protecting the rest of them. Only one of them got a little bit tweaked, but now I can go ahead and set it back down. I'll start recording video again and move that on-screen control. I'm not going to do any more flips because it doesn't seem to be enough room in here. You could probably do flips outside, or if you have a higher ceiling. I don't have much of a ceiling in here. It's probably 7 or maybe a 7-foot ceiling in here. So if you have 8 foot, that's probably a little better. Or you don't have a bench in the way like I do. But I only let this battery charge for a little while, and it seems to have a pretty good flight time. Right now I've already got at least 3 minutes into it now. It really does fly well. Kind of zoom around the room. And here is my real-time view, by the way, on the phone. So not a whole lot of lag in the Wi-Fi, which I think is great. Whoop, my prop guards are working. I just bounced off the shelf back there. Kind of hard to watch the real-time view and fly at the same time while watching the camera. Just fly straight at ourselves. Pretty awesome quad. I don't know if you've seen any of my beginner line of sight flying lessons. I do a thing called circuits. If you find a video on the channel, I believe it was the Breeze 4K video, you should watch that, because it teaches you how to fly circuits. And what circuits do is they teach you how to fly the first time and learn your quadcopter orientations. It's kind of a drone camp's classic thing that we do. So I'm going to go ahead and land now. Pretty simple, guys. Now this one is from our friends over at Cheerson. This is called the CX-17 Cricket. It is pretty cool, mainly because when I started out flying quadcopters quite a few years ago, I had a little one just like this, but it didn't have a camera on it. It was totally line of sight, so you had no real-time video view on here. So this one's extra neat because you can use it on your smartphone and you can see the real-time Wi-Fi feed right on your screen. So a lot has changed in just a couple years time. So let's go ahead and open this one up and I'll show you what comes along with it. And there it is out of the box, guys. That's the CX-17 on the bench. Let's just give it a spin around for you real quick. Cheerson does a great job at making beginner-friendly quads that you can let your kids fly or yourself to learn how to fly quadcopters for a very marginal amount of money, very minimal amount of money. Now, this one is a redesign of quite a few quads that we've seen in the past from Cheerson, and this one's a little bit special for one particular reason that I think is going to make this one a good value. That's going to be a removable battery. Some of the other micros out there have an internal battery, and once that battery dies or gets puffed up, you're really not going to be able to replace it. It's inside the quadcopter. So this one features a removable battery. One of the first little micros outside like the tiny Whoop class that has a removable battery. This is pretty nice. So we're going to be able to get extra batteries for this CX-17, which I really like, because who wants to fly one battery? It's fun to fly a few. Now the camera on here on the very front, like I said, I didn't have that luxury when I was just starting, but you do. And this one's 640 by 480, which is not 720 like I like to see on this, but it will do just fine for what we're going to do. And it's also going to put a Wi-Fi stream over to your phone. If you use this little transmitter right here along with it, in conjunction with your phone, you can get the Wi-Fi straight to your phone, just like you're going to connect to your home Wi-Fi. And then you can see the real-time view on there. I'll go ahead and download that app for you guys and show you that as well. Now, if you go ahead and grab your manual that came along with your CX-17, open it up to the download software page, and you'll see these 3 QR codes here. You have one for iOS, your Android phones, and your mainland China users. And go ahead and get a QR scanner on your phone and hover it over top of the operating system barcode that you have until it comes into focus. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus there. Once it does, it'll read that QR code and take me directly into the App Store where I can download the proper app for my CX-17. So let's go ahead and install that. So they have their own app for it, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to expect that this app is actually pretty nice since it was developed for the CX-17. It's not just a generic UFO Wi-Fi app. So we'll go ahead and go out of that, and I'll go ahead and connect it to the quadcopter. Looks like we have it here on the screen, and I'm just going to drag that over all the way to the end screen here that I have all my drones on, drone apps, and there we go. So I'll go ahead and open that up. And it looks like a pretty nice app so far. It's not asking me to register, which is kind of cool. I can't stand the ones that make you register. So we can play around with the setup in there. Right-handed mode is off. So we'll figure out which one is going to be the throttle mode. I want mine in mode 2, so I'm probably going to do throttle on this side, which is also a self-centering stick, so it does have altitude on here. That's also a really nice feature. Screen rotation, we don't want that to be on because we don't want the screen to move, and automatically save. That would be kind of nice if it automatically saved. We do have English here, or a choice of Chinese. So I'll go back out and we'll go ahead and connect the Wi-Fi to the drone next. Now, if this is your first time starting up your CX-17, go ahead and charge up the battery on your quad first with your little USB cable that came along with it. Just plug it into your computer or wall outlet, and you'll see the Cricket start blinking like that. Go ahead and turn on the transmitter next. And the way you pair it up is you push the stick all the way up and all the way down, and now it's bound to the quadcopter. Most of these toy drones, they work the same way, just like that. So now I can use my app, and it should give me a Wi-Fi signal. So we're going to go over to the settings in my iPhone, and my iPhone 6 fits this case quite nice. So I will choose CX-17 Wi-Fi there, and it should automatically connect. There shouldn't be any kind of password there needed. So I'm going to go ahead back to CX-17 app and click start. And now check this out. You can see my shelf over there. You can see the bench. Oops. You can see all around the room in real time, and that's looking pretty good, you guys. Move the camera up just a little bit here so you can see it better. So now we have full functionality of the app, and we have a few different options here with this app, and this is a lot like other Cheerson quadcopters. You can fly it from the screen controls, or you can fly it from the sticks. So a lot of times I like to fly with physical sticks, so I'm glad that they actually give us a transmitter with sticks. Sometimes I don't like to fly from the phone because it's not quite as a good experience for me. So you can also turn off those by clicking that little eye up at the top right, and now we can use just the sticks. We can also do auto takeoffs and auto land with this. You can do return back to the main screen on this far left icon. You can take photos here up at the top left. You would like to access your photos, say yes, because otherwise it won't save the quad's photos or videos straight to your phone. It actually doesn't have to have a micro SD card in there, which is really nice. Now we can go ahead and start recording there. I'm going to remove those screen there. Let's see, we'll stop it. And the next one over is your library. So I did a couple photos there, and I have one right there. Just took a picture of the wall. Now we can go back out of it. Now if you want to save this to your phone, double click on it there, and it should be saved directly to your phone. Let's see, there is no extra step there to saving anything. So one video file as well. Let's see if there's a way to save this one. It should be in my photo album right on the phone. So if I go out of the app and back. So now we're back to the main screen, and we have a few different options here on the main screen. I'll bring the phone a little closer so you can see it a little better. Now the next icon over is the gravity sensing control icon. You can turn that on or off here just by hitting it really quickly. And the next one over is one-touch balance calibration. So if you want to calibrate your quadcopter while it's sitting, you see that little scale right there represents balance. And that's how you make sure that your accelerometer is going to be balanced out properly. Make sure it's sitting on a nice and level flat surface back there. And that next icon over, it says 30% right now, and I'm not flying, so it won't let me change it. But while you're flying, if you click that, it'll go to 60 and then 100, and it just changes the speed and the angle of your quadcopter. So if you want to fly it faster, you can hit that a couple times, go to 100% speed, and it will fly pretty fast at 100 speed. Now the next one I have on the screen here is pretty cool. That's the VR. If you want to split it up and use some kind of Google Cardboard glasses with your phone, you can fly this one in virtual reality with a pair of goggles. And that's actually pretty cool too, because then you're doing some beginner FPV with your Cricket. And that's kind of fun outside because you can fly around little playground equipment and fly through things and little tree gaps and stuff. And that's a lot of fun for the new guys to experience that. Plus you have prop guards on there, so if you hit a tree branch, you're probably just going to bounce off. You click it again and it goes away. Now the next one we have on there is to rotate the monitor, and that just rotates it upside down. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, but click it again and it goes away. Now like I showed you earlier, that little eye icon brings up the on-screen controls, and then you're flying it from your phone instead of bringing the controller. So you could leave this at home and just bring the phone and fly it from the phone using throttle on the left there in mode 2. If you want to switch it around to mode 1 where the throttle's over here, you can do that in the settings of this app. So that's kind of nice. You also have auto takeoff here and auto land, and you have 360 flips there if you want to do a flip. And in the middle we have something new. This is selfie mode. Now the next icon over here, this is trajectory mode. So this is something new for the CX-17. If you click on that, if you point on the screen, let's see, let's go back into the settings there. If you click on that, it will allow me to set a waypoint, and the quad will fly along that route that you pointed off into the direction from where you're standing out to the horizon. That's kind of cool. So I can click that back off to remove that after I did that, or I can click it back on and do a new one, and I can go like that at any route I want, and the quad will follow along that route. That's kind of cool. So it's kind of like a point A to point B type of waypoint interaction in the app. Now, how do you arm your Cheerson CX-17? Pretty simple. You can do the auto takeoff from the screen by hitting that icon right there, or if you want to do it from the controller, it kind of does it like a Phantom 2 would. So both sticks down and out will arm the quad, and then you can just bump the throttle stick up and it'll automatically take off. Now when you come down to land, if you want to automatically disarm it, you should go out into the corner again and it disarms it for you. That's pretty cool. But like I said, I like to fly from the controller, so all the other controls that are on the on-screen display are also right here on your controller. So if you don't want to use them here, you can actually use them physically. There are buttons that exist on the controller themselves. You have start and stop the video here and take photos over on this side. I'll bring it in a little closer so you can see it there. It also has a mode 1 switch button up on the very top. Now your on-off switch is here in the very center, and it is expandable out like that, which I really like about these transmitters. I think this is awesome because it makes it way better to fly. Just feels more natural. I don't like it kind of in like this, but if you're a kid and you have smaller hands, this is great for kids too. Now over here on the right hand side you have 2 arrows. Those are auto takeoff and auto land. So I have all the same features on here on this transmitter as I do right here on the screen. That's kind of cool. And it takes 2 AAA batteries in the very back that power this transmitter, so you don't have to have a lot of batteries to get flying. And this is also on 2.4, which I like a lot. Now let's give a little final analysis overview, my opinion of the Cricket CX-17. I'm gonna be honest with you, I like a lot of the aspects about this one. I like the built-in prop guards that I didn't have to install myself. I like the sort of flat design from the front and the sides. It's very streamlined, and it seems to be kind of a nice and heavy weight. It doesn't feel cheap in my hands like some of the other micros do. So I think it has reasonable power for how heavy it is, and it flies really well. It flew well out in the field, and I enjoyed flying this one. So there is a quadcopter for everyone out there. There's different styles, motor sizes, and even the small ones are a lot of fun. So you don't have to fly a really fast FPV racer quad to have fun. These are also a lot of fun. Now also in the box you get a little prop remover tool, and these are pretty important because you don't want to bend these. You can just simply place this underneath and push the prop up using this tool. It slides right up just like that, and it will take the prop off. And you also do get some extra props as well. They give you an extra set, but you can also find these on Amazon, or maybe I can share with you down in the link below. You also get a USB charger, simply for charging up that battery that's in this quad. Now it takes about an hour to charge up this battery. Now you do get around 7 minutes flight time with this quad, and that's not bad. I would like to see 10 minutes on maybe the next version, and the weight on this quad is actually 39 grams, so it's well under any kind of sort of federal regulations or requirements. You don't have to put a number on this one. This one is absolutely a toy, and the distance on this one, it goes about 30 meters out. They say 25 meters for the Wi-Fi, so that's, you know, that's around 90 feet out, and that's pretty far out there with a micro. You're going to be flying in close proximity with this one anyway, but definitely sort of a little taste of what FPV can be like. So I think that's pretty cool for people, that they get a little bit of taste, maybe what racing feels like when you shoot through tree gaps and play around with, maybe you set up a little course and fly through your house. You can have a lot of fun making those little course gates and things. So anyway, guys, this one was a lot of fun for me. I enjoyed it. Another fun quadcopter in my shop that I could show to you today for show and tell. So thanks again for joining me, and please do subscribe. Also check out the Quad Club, and you might find a couple one-of-a-kind deals, and you'll also get tech support for about $5. Not bad. So take care, and please do hang out more on the channel. I love interacting with you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.